deal. Do a quick little live stream, man. Talk about some heavyweight boxing. Wait till a few of you guys show up, man. We'll talk about anything, whatever you want to talk about, man. You guys ask some questions. We go back and forth. But as of right now, though, man, I'm watching this Adam Konowski versus Lago Kilati fight. Um, Kilati was actually having some success against Konowski, man. Just he couldn't, we know Konowski likes to keep coming forward. He'll break you down to the body. Kilati was having some success against Konowski, though, man. He was, especially early in the fight when he was able to move around. Because we know Konowski is there to be hit. He does come forward. He'll go for broke. He's one of them dudes, man. When you're down there, you probably have a better chance of just trying to just catching him cold and knocking him out than him quitting. Because he's not going to quit. And he doesn't seem to get discouraged, man. Like, as I say, him getting punched in the face doesn't discourage him. Now, I know boxers that get punched in the face, but you know what I'm saying? Like a busted nose, busted eye, it won't discourage him. He'll keep coming forward, man. So him and Charles Martin, I'm really looking forward to that style clash. I just want to see what Charles Martin has left. I know he's came back since the AJ fight. Um, I know after the AJ fight, he was going on social media and having some pretty funny videos he was putting up, doing a assortment of different things. He ended up getting shot downtown LA, so he had to recover from that. But I've also seen him, at least according to what I see on his Instagram, he's been in there, he's been training his ass off, man. Um, he's been training his ass off. He's had a couple comeback fights against, some journeyman level guys. But I can't wait to see this fight. Let me see what you guys talking about. Yeah, for those of you who just joined, just a Q&A, man. Nothing really specific I want to talk about. Just we could talk about anything heavyweight, man. Watching this Konowski fight. Watching a few of his fights. I watched the Spilk. I've already seen him, but I'm curious about this Charles Martin fight. Let me see what y'all talking about. Corey Lee Boxing, what's good, man? Lawrence Williams, what's up? Gaines PP, was good. Roz Clock 222, was good. AZ, what's up? Mark Blake, what's up? Lawrence Williams says Adam got touched up in that fight. I think Martin has the skills to stop him. Um, yeah, man, especially if his condition holds up. Because like I said, Konowski, like you said, he is getting touched up in his fight. Just Kilati, and Kilati's a guy that's been in a lot of Deontay Wilder training camps. He's been in a few different training camps. You know what I mean? He just couldn't hold up the stamina in this fight. He started to get worn out, man. Now he's going on the back for now. He's tired. This is the fifth round. You could tell. Then he got knocked down, I believe. The round before this, he got knocked down. But Konowski just keep coming forward. Konowski, I'll see him off balance a lot, and he'll overextend on punches, and he leaves a lot of openings to get countered, man. Like I said, you don't have to go looking for the dude to hit him, but he also does things to make himself even more hittable. You know what I mean? But the thing is, he seems to have a tough chin, and he is a underrated body puncher, man. He's one of them dudes that'll like give up his face. You know what I mean? He'll give up his face to land some body punches. He's one of them dudes, man. But Charles Martin, if he can stop this dude in his tracks, like Charles Martin isn't some small guy. He's a big dude, man. If he can sit down on some punches, I mean, Konowski damn near seems like you can close your eyes and throw a punch and you'll still be able to hit him. That's just how much he doesn't rely on his defense, man. He's like right there to get hit. And if Martin can stop this dude in his tracks, tie him up when he needs to, turn him when he needs to, it's a game plan that I think he has the skill set to carry out. But I guess we'll see, man. It's going to be entertaining because if his legs start to go or he gets tired or he has one of those moments where he has to, lay against the ropes for a little bit, that shit may turn into a slugfest. Gaines PP says, "Hey, what's happened with Jean-Pierre Augustin? When is he going to step up in opposition?" That's a good question. Shit, when you figure that out, let me know. Let me know too, because I have no idea, man. Definitely want to see some of those guys that are just entering that rankings, especially that WBO. Some, those guys got to start stepping up, man. Definitely got to start stepping up. James Coleman was good, man. Robert Starr, he says, "What up, though? Was good." He says, "Wilder Fury. Any thoughts?" I got a lot of thoughts about that. One of my thoughts is I just did a video uh, giving my opinion about what Lennox Lewis had to say about warning Wilder about Tyson Fury can be a stylistic nightmare. A lot of damn fans don't want to see that fight, boy. They in the comment section cussing me out, man. You fucking yank, you don't know nothing about boxing. Well, some of y'all get I don't know, man. It just seems like some of you guys, I'm not saying all, it just seems like y'all don't want the dude to fight nobody, man. Like y'all want everybody saved for just certain fighters and shit, man. It's like the dude, damn if he does, damn if he don't. You don't have to like him. You don't have to think he's a good fighter, but it just seems like a lot of fans out there they have a disagreement about damn near every opponent. Luis Ortiz, Tyson Fury, for whatever reason. Now people calling him a crackhead. Now you're a crackhead. Damn the fact that the guy is getting back in shape, seeming to turn his life around, seeming to get back in the gym, seeming to, get the weight off, and he looks quick on the pads. I've seen a workout video of him on the pads. Um, is he all the way there yet? I want to say he's all. I mean, he doesn't look like the same guy that fought Vladimir, but it seems like a guy that's in way better shape than I've seen him in, and he seems mentally right. But it seems like a lot of fans don't. I just don't think a lot of UK fans. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm not saying all, but a lot of fans just don't want him to beat him. They don't want to have to hear that he beat Tyson Fury. They want Fury to be saved for Anthony Joshua, maybe Dillian White. It's like they want that thing to just be nope, just the UK guys just do their thing, and everybody else has to be on the outside looking in. And I know a lot of fans out there want to see White versus Wilder, which is a good fight. I think it's a good fight too. But yeah, man, I've seen a lot of people like crying about, or yeah, some of motherfuckers. I'm just be honest, some motherfuckers are crying in the comment section. Now some people had their reasons and broke it down as to why, and some people just getting personal with me and then crying about the fight. Like, what the fuck are you so mad about? That's a good fight. And the bookies, they have fucking Tyson Fury a minus 150 favorite for a fight in December. So that's what I was saying. Like, you can't have this shit both ways, man. You can't favor the guy and you still don't want to see the fight. Now, some of you probably aren't favoring him, but I'm just going off of what the bookies are saying. I'm not making it up. It's what the bookies are saying. You know what I mean? They're favoring Fury in that fight with Wilder for December as of right now. You know what I mean? But I think it's a great style. Look, man, I've been wanting to see that fight ever since Tyson Fury jumped in the ring after Wilder knocked out Spilka. You know what I'm saying? And people saying, oh, coke and crack and all this shit. He's doing this, he's doing that. Man, well, shit. Half the guys I grew up in the 80s watching were doing coke. You know what I'm saying? When they're out of the ring, drinking, and then the crack era started to hit. I mean, you guys know the names of guys that was affiliated with drug use. Pinkline Thomas, Tim Witherspoon, Greg Page. I can go on and on and on and on. Now, does that make it right? No. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like we've never seen any boxer go through drug abuse. Like, knock it the fuck off. Dokes, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson said he used to snort coke, fuck like a rabbit, you know what I mean, in between fights. You know what I'm saying? So the dude's 29, man. It's not like we're picking on some 44-year-old has been, 45-year-old has been. You know what I mean? Like, so my thing is don't watch the fight then. Don't watch it. You know what I mean? Don't watch the motherfucker. See what else y'all talking about. Man, Poby, what's up, man? P Money, what's good, brother? Let me see. Teddy Blythewood, what's up? Roz, let me see. AZ says Ugono got an offer to fight on the zone. Your thoughts? He should do whatever he think is best for his career. If that's fight on the zone, if that's fight on Showtime, if that's fight on HBO, if that's to fight on whatever, man, do whatever's best for your career. Hopefully you can get the fights that you need. Because right now, hopefully, Eddie can help him get some fucking fights. Because he fought Fred Cassie and haven't seen him since. And I know the Cassie fight just passed, but that fight, weird ass ending, nothing really happened. The fight ended so early. He should be back in the ring. But the good thing about Iju is he's a gym rat. He stays in shape. I follow him on Instagram, and he is working out, staying in shape. Gerald Washington is another guy that I've been seeing on Instagram staying in shape. That'd be a good fight. Gerald Washington versus Iju Gono. You know what I mean? Uh, Michael Hunter Jr. is another name. His only loss is to Usyk. He was a really good amateur on the national scene here at heavyweight, so cruiserweight in the amateurs, but at heavyweight, and he fought a little bit at super heavyweight too. But now he seems to be more wanting to fight at heavyweight now. His last two fights, he actually beat. Speaking of Lago Kiladze, he actually beat him. He stopped him. The same guy that Konowski was able to stop. That was piecing up Konowski early in that fight. But anyways, Hunter beat him. His only loss is to Usyk, and he also beat Jamal Woods. Now, some of you may say, who the fuck is Jamal Woods? Jamal Woods, you guys heard me say his name a lot. He's one of those guys like John Bolden, Juan Good, Avery Gibson, one of those tough journeyman type of dude that'll give you the full 8 rounds, 6 rounds, 4 rounds. You know what I mean? He's tough. He's just a tough journeyman for up and comers to fight as they're working their way up. He'll fuck around and get a points decision win. You know what I mean? Robert Helenius is actually in action today. He is fighting a guy, Yuri. I forgot the guy's last name. Yuri something or the other. It's the guy he fought after he lost his fight to Dillian White. He fought Yuri and he got a split decision victory. So he's having a rematch with that guy today. It's a 6-rounder. That split decision was an 8-rounder that they fought earlier this year. So Helenius is back in action. If Helenius wins today, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Otto Walling. I think that'd be a good Nordic type of fight. You know, if Helenius can beat Walling, that'll kind of boost his name up a little bit, being that Walling is rated by the sanctioning body. He's an up-and-comer. He's undefeated, glossy record. You know what I mean? Because they were talking about had Adrian Gannat beat Dimitrenko, and Dimitrenko shocked him and knocked him out in the first round. But had he beat Dimitrenko, they were talking about Helenius versus Granat. Now, actually, Granat has went on and lost a couple fights in a row. He lost to Dimitrenko, and then he lost to Otto Walling. So I think Helenius and Walling will be a good fight. See how Helenius looks and where he's going to go with his career, but I think that be a good fight, in my opinion. And then also we have Trevor Bryan versus BJ Flores. Now I'm hearing that it went from just being like a title eliminator type of thing to, is it for the interim? The WBA kills me with all these damn belts, man. They said they're going to eradicate all these minor titles, and they're just keeping the titles around. But like I always say, they got to keep the lights on, right? So they want them sanctioning fees. Who knows? They might come out with another fucking title next month. Lawrence Williams says, well, Iron Kong Tuna. Rosclot 222 says Martin unfortunately is not exciting at all to watch. He wouldn't even be a contender in the past era. You know what, man, Rosclot, if you actually, well, I don't know, maybe you have, but if you go watch some, because a lot of fans they've only seen the Glasscoff and AJ. I could tell by the way they comment. I'm not saying you, but I know a lot of fans, when I listen to them fight, the only 2 fights they talk about are those 2. Now, are those his his 2 most noteworthy fights? Of course they are. But if you go watch his other fights, I believe the guy's name was Glendy Hernandez. It was a Hernandez fight. Another guy's name was Vicente something. And he has a fight with Joey DeWeco. There's some was it Rafael Zambunu Love, I think. There's a few other fights that he has out there where he could be crap. Now, again, it's against I'm watching him against limited opposition, but he's shown signs where he can be crafty with his left hand, where he can kind of go on the back foot a little bit, where he can hurt you and back you up with the left hand, where he can get in and out on you like he was doing Joey DeWeco. He'll show you some good things, but it's just that AJ fight is just it's just fucking burned. It's deeply embedded in people's memories, man. But him being pressured in the fight where Konowski, I do think that Martin believes that he can beat this guy. maybe with the AJ fight, maybe his confidence wasn't sky high. I know he was saying a lot of shit, walk the earth like a god and all that type of shit, man. But maybe his confidence is a little bit higher going into this fight, being that it's a guy that's there to be hit. Maybe he can catch Konowski, but he's gonna have to, you know, he's gonna have to put some hurt on this guy, man, or be in excellent condition where he can go the full distance and win a points decision. Let's see what else y'all talking about. Mr. Doc, what's good, man? He says, I agree. These are the kind of fights these top 10, top 20 heavyweights need to start having more often. You're damn right. Robert Stars says, well, what's good? What's good? Let me see. James Coleman says, Rivas versus Mansoor would be awesome. Yeah, it would have been awesome had Rivas passed that eye exam. Man, I was so hyped up about that fight when it was made. Man, I was hyped up, man. And then Rivas failed his eye exam, man. That shit sucked. You know what I mean? But that's just, to me, that has like fight of the year candidate written all over it based on styles. You know? Let me see here. Arrow HL says, when will Miller get the respect and appreciation he deserves? Um, I guess it depends on who you talk to. I appreciate Miller. Uh, I don't like the fact that he's fighting Adamak. One thing about the old guy Adamak, though, yes, I know he's a two division champion, light heavyweight, cruiserweight. Some fans think his best days were at light heavyweight. Um, he will come in shape. That's the one thing I will say about. I was watching his training camp footage from the Joey Abel fight. The dude comes in shape. That's what I can say. But I just think it's just his time has came and gone. That's just what I think about him as far as fighting the elite. Could Adamak feast on journeyman level guys for the next 2-3 years if he wanted to? Probably, most likely, yeah. But I think stepping up against any of the top 10 type of guys, Dillian White, Jarrell Miller, Brazil, I just think they'll either wear him out. He may have some good moments here and there, but I just think at the end he's going to take a L. I mean, shit, he lost to Spilka a couple years ago. You know what I mean? So, yeah, But yeah, Miller, I appreciate Miller, man. I just want to see him in other type of fights. Uh, Still want to see him and Dillian White fight, man. I still want to see that fight. But I guess that's all, it depends on who you're talking to as far as appreciating the guy. You know what I'm saying? Another little fun fact, Vlad Sorenko, the undefeated prospect, he is in Anthony Joshua's training camp. Powerful young man. He's in AJ's training camp. Um, should be a learning experience for him. Let me see. Hassan Lawal says Joshua's a ducker. Woolbag says Wilder will be in the ring on August 18th, and these trolls will do nothing but cry. Yeah, man, a lot of these dudes, man, they don't want to see it. It's like they want to see the dude fight. These names, it's like he needs to fight a top name, and then you bring a top name, and then something. Oh, but not that type, not that top name though. This top name, it's like I don't know, man. Um, Another little thing that I saw on Instagram, man, I was browsing around and I seen that Lucas Brown. I know some people are like, man, fuck Lucas Brown, but Lucas Brown said that he actually left this on Trevor Bryan's Instagram because the fights tonight between Bryan and Flores, and Lucas Brown was telling him good luck and he wouldn't mind fighting him if he wins. You know what I mean? So just putting that out there. I know Lucas Brown got knocked the hell out in his last fight. It's the heavyweight division. Shit happens, and he wasn't in the best of shape. You know what I mean? So, yes, I know he's a little long in the tooth as far as his age, but there's a few guys like that right now that are in the division. You guys know my thoughts about the way heavyweights, they can age a little bit differently than guys from smaller weight classes who just depend on their quickness or, even if they're moving up or down in weight. At heavyweight, you can work behind the jab, all these guys, you know, if they land something flush on you, can probably knock you the hell out. You can fight at a much slower pace in most of your fights at heavyweight. It's just a slower pace division. Damn, Konowski's beating the hell out of Spilka. I'm watching Konowski Spilka again. You know, so just the heavyweights, they age a little bit differently. You know what I mean? Still wouldn't mind seeing Lucas Brown, Shannon Briggs, or Tarver Briggs. You know, one of them senior. I wouldn't mind seeing an old guy fight, man. I'm a fan of old guy fights. I want to see Tarver versus Briggs. Y'all want to see Tarver versus Briggs? Just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it. Let me see. Gaines PP says, you heard about this American 23-year-old prospect, Ronnie Hines. He's 6'6", 220 pounds from Cleveland, Ohio. His record is 2-0 now, I think. Nope, haven't heard of him. I would definitely check him out. For those of you that are new to the channel or don't know about it, check out my heavyweight prospect playlist. I've covered about 90 heavyweight prospects over the last 2 years. D. Obianuli says, White, Bellew, Miller, Chisora beating Fury right now don't mean much. Damn, bro, you think they can all beat Fury right now? To me, right now, meaning December right now, because that's when November to December is when they're talking about him fighting Wilder. I'll favor Fury over all of those guys in a December fight. And I'm not just saying it because it's a possible Wilder for I just will favor him over all them dudes right now. Don't mean that they, you know, couldn't possibly beat him, but I would favor Fury. Ronald Finkley was good, man. The Jawbreaker says Wilder's a disgrace. Wool Bag says other fighters have come back from worse circumstances and some were successful. You know what, Wool Bag, whenever I bring up the other fighters, like Holmes coming back after a long layoff, after 2 years, he came back and fought Mike Tyson after he lost to Spinks the second time. Vitaly Klitschko was out for 4 years, and then he came back and fought Samuel Peter his first fight. Ali gets out of he gets his license back after what, 3.5, 4 years, whatever it was. He comes back and fights Quarry. You know, whenever I bring that up, people say, "Oh no, but it's different though." As if those guys wasn't going around not being in shape. Not all of them, but some of them not being in shape, not taking care of their bodies the right way. They probably wasn't doing drugs, but shit, they were eating and not living a fighter's lifestyle. Not living a fighter's lifestyle is not living a fighter's lifestyle. Now, adding cocaine and liquor to that, yeah, that can hurt it even more. But if you're not living a fighter's lifestyle, you're just not living life as a fighter, period. You know what I'm saying? And people were acting like fucking Tyson Fury was like he from New Jack City, crackhead, pawning off VCR or DVD players and computers and selling his cars for you know what I mean, a quarter key of coke. You know, just like just taking shit is way too far in my opinion. As if they were there fucking chopping up lines for him. Like, how much cocaine do you like? How do you know how much cocaine he was using? You know what I'm saying? They act like this dude was fucking in hotels snoring coke off of hookers' titties and shit and ass cracks. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. Boxing Square, what's good, man? I also appreciate your work on the heavyweight division, man. The work that you do. Shouts out to you and your channel. Boxing Squared. Iron Kong 26 says some people don't want Tyson to fight Wilder because they don't want Tyson to come back, really. They dislike him. Yeah, too bad for them, man. I like Tyson Fury. Wool Bag says they'll watch the fight regardless. Yeah, secretly they will. How can you not watch that fight? You know what I'm saying? I know I told people don't watch it, but man, I'm watching that. I don't give a fuck what nobody talking about. Carlos Enrica, he says, I have chatted with my best friend who hosts a boxing talk show on Sirius XM, who agrees with me that the Zone show October 6th here in Chicago isn't a trash show. Well, I've never said it was trash. I don't even know the full card. I just know that Miller versus Thomas Adamek is a fight that nobody's clamoring for. It's not a fight that I really want to see. But what I do know is Chicago has a Polish fan base out there, just like in New York. So I know they will come out full effect to support their fighter. Thomas Adamek amongst the Polish community is a legend. The dude's a, uh, two-weight division champion. So that's a good thing. You know what I mean? So um, they'll be behind him. They'll be pulling for the upset. But just him fighting Adamek, when he was looking for his next fight, nobody was sitting here saying, Thomas Adamek. You know what I mean? Even when he first mentioned Spilka, we're like, nah, we don't want to see Spilka, bro. I know Spilka came back and beat Dominic Gwynn, but we don't really want to see that one. You know what I'm saying? We're thinking more Trevor Bryan, Andrew Ruiz Jr. type of fights. You know what I mean? I don't know the whole card. BG London was good. Paul Play, what's up, man? Urel HL says, hopefully Fury looks good in Pianata fight. If he does, then I'm all aboard for Wilder Fury. Well, yeah, of course, he has to dominate Francisco Pianata. He has to turn him into Francisco Pinata and beat the stuffing out of him. And Fury's going to do his thing where he goes in there and taunts. He may put his hand behind his back. He may blow a kiss to the crowd. He may pound, beat on his own chest. He may turn his fucking back on Pianata. He may do a lot of things, but I hope he just dominates, and I hope he tries to put a hurting on this dude. I'm not expecting him to go in there and look like a fucking George Foreman in his prime, but put a hurting on this dude, man. Try to stop him. Try to stop him with quick combinations. I mean, you can still stick and move, but punching threes and fours. Fury has some quick hands. Even in the fight with Safiri, he was putting together some good combination when he actually wasn't fucking around and playing. When he actually set down on punches and threw them fucking punches were snapping. Them were fast punches, man. You know what I'm saying? You may say, oh, but it was against Safiri. I'm talking about the speed of his hands, the way his hands were flowing. It could have been fucking Deontay Wilder standing there, Anthony Joshua. The speed of his punches were fast. So, and I seen him on the mitts, man. He was popping them. And sometimes when you're listening, and I know it's different when you're actually there, but when I'm watching guys hit the mitts or doing workouts, you can hear like a certain snap and thud in type of punches. You know what I mean? When they're hitting the mitts. Now I know hitting the mitts makes a loud sound, but you got hard for me to explain, but you can it's like a certain sound that you can hear when it's snapping. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was seeing in his mitt work. I'm curious how much Tyson Fury is weighing right now. Ronald Finkley, I appreciate the super chat, man. Appreciate that. Scroll back up. Zone 6. I see Zone 6 in the house. What's good, Zone? Zone 6 boxing in the house. What's good, man? Lawrence Williams says, Iju Ogono is in camp with Povetkin. Okay. Oh, for the AJ. Okay. That's what's up. I didn't know that. D.O.B. Newley says depression, obesity, recreation drug use, performance enhancing drugs, inactive for almost 3 years. That's a lot to overcome. But bro, and he's overcoming it right now. It's not like people acting like he's 600 pounds and this is his first day back working out. And then it's like when he's not depressed, people want to still bring up depression. The dude is fucking confident. Like, look at him, follow him. Okay, see, we can't follow him in the news and on Instagram when he's going through his worst shit. But then when he's showing you improvement and he's full of joy and he has life back in him, we just want to go back to, well, he was depressed. Yeah, he was depressed. Now he's not depressed. The dude may be fucking bipolar for all we know. You get what I'm saying here? It's like, dude, the dude is improving in front of us as far as his conditioning is going. Staying in the gym consistently. He's taking fights. I know the Safiri fight wasn't a fight we all wanted to see, but do you guys remember last year when they kept talking about him? He's coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back. And a lot of us were just saying, look, man, fucking fight a journeyman. Just come back, just get in the ring and get back in the rhythm and in the groove. Now he's doing that, and we're still harping on recreation drugs. Okay, but he's not taking it now. It doesn't take, I don't know, man. I just have a different outlook on this. I've seen a lot of fighters do this type of shit, come back and have success. Some guys come back and they fall back into the same trap. You know what I mean? But let's see what happens. And right now, from what I see as a fan, he's working towards detox, cleaning himself up, and getting back in the rhythm. Fighting to some of these dudes is like riding a bike, man. They don't need to come back and fight for 3 straight fucking years to get back in the rhythm of it. You know what I mean? If that's the case, Lord knows if YouTube and shit was back in the when George Foreman came back after being out for 10 years, Lord knows what people would have been saying about that on the internet. Oh, he's fat. He's fat. He's fat. He's fat. He's fat. He's fat. We just would have said he's fucking fat for 8 years. Every fight he's fat. Well, yeah, he's never gonna look like what he looked like in his prime. Now I know circumstances are different. I know what you're gonna say. Yeah, but it's not a 10-year gap. I'm just saying, just making an excuse for everything when the guy is here training. Whatever we get from Tyson Fury is what we're gonna get, man. Is what I'm looking at. Like whatever he gives us is gonna be him. People saying they want him to be at his best, and I say, maybe his best was November 2015. Maybe that was him at his best. Maybe it's just came and gone. Maybe he can't duplicate that anymore. Maybe. You know what I'm saying here? Like maybe. A lot of us wanted fucking Mike Tyson to duplicate what he did to Spinks when he, later on in his career. He couldn't duplicate it no more. He still went on and won some fights, but he couldn't duplicate it no more. Maybe Tyson Fury's best will be in December against Wilder. Maybe he'll be in fucking 2021. Maybe, let's just see. Let's just see. Because no matter who he beats, even if he was to beat Manuel Charr, does beating Manuel Charr mean, oh, he's ready for Wilder, he's ready for Joshua? No, people still be saying it's fucking Manuel Charr. It's still Francisco Pianata. Even if he beat Dillian White, does that mean, oh, he's ready for AJ? I mean, he beat Dillian White. Joshua's a better fighter than Dillian White. Let's just see how he looks against Francisco Pianata. It's a lot to overcome, but if anybody can overcome it, maybe it is Tyson Fury. The same guy that people are calling a crazy fuck when he went into the Vladimir fight, didn't think he was going to win, and he won the fight. He proved us all wrong. He seems used to proving people wrong. But people, oh, he snorted a line of coke. Oh, fuck, he's never going to come back to form. It's like, dude, come on, man. Shit, Sonny Liston used to fuck with heroin. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not trying to, I'm just giving you examples, man, because people are acting like this shit is like unheard of. Like great fighters, not just Joe Blow from down the street, journeyman, the greatest fighters in history. Sugar Ray Leonard, you know what I mean? Come on, y'all. Also seen Deontay Wilder was out in Santa Monica, I believe, Santa Monica, California, at the Boxing Burn. He did a workout with Tony Jeffries. Jeffries won bronze. I think he got bronze in 2008 at light heavyweight. He actually beat Alvarez in the Olympics. Alvarez just stopped Kovalev. He crushed the Crusher. Crushed his ass. But yeah. Tony Jeffries has trained a lot of guys. I know he's trained some MMA dudes too. Brandon Schwab and Travis Brown. Guys. And he did a mint workout. He did a mint workout with Wilder the other day, I believe yesterday. And he left a post on Instagram saying, and he's a UK guy too. All right. And he did a post on Instagram yesterday saying after the first round of mitts with Wilder, he understands why this guy has a fucking 90 or the 98% KO percentage. And he said that Wilder told him that the Fury fight November is what they're shooting for. You know what I mean? So that was good news to hear. It's good to see Wilder. It's good to see Wilder in the gym, working out, staying fit. You don't have to worry about, guys like Wilder, there's a few guys that you don't have to worry about them staying in shape. Even Anthony Joshua, he never, he seems to stay in the gym, whether it's boxing type of workouts or he's doing some type of cross training. Um, Carlos Takam, I know he lost his last fight, against Chisora, but he's another guy that stays in the gym. There's a few guys at heavyweights that are just gym rats. You know what I mean? They don't balloon up in weight. Let me see what y'all talking about. Kiwi Box, what's up, man? Lawrence Williams says, let me see. Zone 6 says Fury or Wilder, Mr. Boxing today. I'm a favor Wilder. I'll just be short with this one because this can turn into a 30-minute conversation. But I'm a favor Wilder. But I'm definitely, once this Fury fight is over with Pianata, I may even do a bag breakdown on this one. I know a lot of you have been requesting me to do another heavy bag breakdown when I break down exactly what it is that I see in both guys' fighting styles. But in me favoring Wilder is like on some like 51-49 type of thing. I mean, this to me is it's just intriguing, man, because I can see this being a type of fight, man. I mean, I can see it a whole bunch of different ways, right? But I can see this possibly being a situation where it's round 11 and Fury's won like 8 of the rounds. And then round 12, fight's over, Fury won. Like, I mean, just being able to do some of the things that he can do, make you miss, make you kind of hesitant of what you want to do in there with him. I think his strength is underrated. I think Fury is very strong. Now, some people take strong as your physique. You got to look like Anthony Joshua, Klitschko's. No, you don't. He's very strong. Klitschko is used to ragdolling guys on the inside with his clinch. He couldn't do none of that with Fury. And I think that was another thing that shocked him in that fight and threw him off as well, as he couldn't ragdoll Klitschko in the clinch. It wasn't just the movement and the jab that was getting snapped in his face and Fury doing that. That was part of it, but another part of it was Klitschko not being able to bully him on the inside like he was able to do pretty much damn near everybody. He put the vice grip on you, and guys couldn't even move getting out the clinch with him. And I think Fury has enough pop to where you have to respect him. That's another thing too. People, he can't punch hard. He doesn't have a high KO percent. Yeah, but there's some guys that have enough pop to where you have to at least respect them. You get what I'm saying? Bernard Hopkins was kind of like that. Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, guys that more boxer type, but they had enough pop to where you just ain't gonna just run in on them. You got, you're respecting it to some degree. But then Wilder has a style that kind of throws all that off, though, to where he's kind of athletic. He can lay back in the cut a little bit. In the Stavern fight, I know styles make fights, but in that first Stavern fight, he was moving back, using his left hook. He was turning. Even the Ortiz fight, he caught Ortiz. That shot that caught Ortiz that hurt him in that, was it the 10th? Was Wilder going off the back foot, kind of on the ropes, came over with that right hand. That was off the back foot. People don't even bring that up, that he caught Ortiz off his back foot with the right hand. You get what I'm saying? So then he's athletic and he's rangy. It may be a situation where both guys are having a difficult time trying to calculate and gauge the range. See, that's what I'm saying. I can talk about this style for an hour, man, but it's a close fight, man. Style wise. Let me see. Brooklyn Child Boxing Talk was good, man. Let me see. D. Obenuli says Fury ain't fighting Wilder anytime soon. He ain't gonna sell his lineal title so soon. It's his only bargaining chip. Lawrence Williams says, I remember Martin destroyed Tom Dallas on the Vlad Jennings undercard. Yeah, like I said, Martin does have some fights, man, where he go in there and destroy dudes, man. JMJ 2121 says Parker needs to retire. Too nice. Now, I think Parker got a lot of fight left in him, man. His demeanor, yeah, I really don't like. I know a lot of people say, oh, he's a gentleman. And it's like, yeah, you can be a gentleman, man, but I like to see some nastiness. Not just outside the ring and pressers, but I'm talking about in the ring, man. You got to show some nastiness. There was a fight. What fight was that, man? I want to say it was the France Botha knockout. It could be another one, but I believe it was a France Botha knockout. I know Botha was way past it. But I actually watched Botha versus Briggs the other day from back in the day. But anyways, Parker was, I believe it was Botha. and he could have landed another shot, and the ref was going to step in, and Parker stopped midway through and didn't throw the punch. And when I seen that years ago, I was like, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Then the way White was trying to bully and manhandle him, the way he was handling it, I thought he could have been a little bit meaner and nastier in the ring. I would like to see Parker fight with more of an edge. He was more aggressive as far as throwing his hands in that White fight than he was in the Joshua fight and the Ruiz fight and the Takam fight. You know what I mean? But I wish he would show a little bit more nastiness. You know what I mean? Like Tua was a nasty son of a bitch. David Tua, you know what I mean? He'll try to knock your head clean off your shoulders, and you better pray to God you didn't get trapped on the ropes, because he was going to give you that that Ray Mercer, Tommy Morrison treatment if you got trapped against the ropes. Just keep literally trying to take your head off until the ref has to tackle you away. You know what I mean? But Michael says, Mr. Boxing, what happened to Kelvin Price? I think he fought Wilder, tougher than everybody but Ortiz. Damn, you know what? Speaking of Kelvin Price, some of the looks that he was giving Wilder in that fight, that he was having success. I believe that Fury can do some of those types of things. But Kelvin Price, I know he was training with Roy Jones' father, and he had another fight that he ended up losing after the Wilder fight. I forget, but I haven't seen Kelvin Price in a while. Haven't seen him in a while. Ali Dago 619 was good, man. He says, I'm picking Povetkin to pull off the upset and beat AJ. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Ibki Aki, he says, Pool Baby Miller is similar to Wilder by cherry picking. Brooklyn Boxing Child, Brooklyn Child Boxing Talk says, not a fan of Jarrell Miller. Damn, you ain't a fan of Jarrell? He right from the BK with you. You ain't gonna show support to your fellow Brooklynite? Zone 6 says, I like Miller. Yeah, I like Miller too, man. Kiwi Box, what's up, man? He says, you hear the Flores versus Bryan? Oh, I think you meant to put Flores. Flores versus Bryan. I just lost your comment. Let me see. Yeah. It's for the WBA interim. WBA getting even more silly. Yeah, man, I brought that up earlier in the chat. Yes, and they're supposed to, and Kiwi, I know you remember this because you're another guy, you Boxing Squared, a few of you guys strictly follow heavyweight boxing like myself. You remember that WBA when they put together the tournament, was it 2 years ago now, where they put together that tournament for the heavyweight division, and they're going to eradicate the interim title and the regular title once the tournament was over. And yeah, 2 years later, we're still here. Let me see here. I see a super chat. Let me give a shout out to somebody who left a super chat. Is it Ronald Finkley again? He says, where's my wrench? Get them off. Just kidding. Yeah, I don't know how to do the wrench on my phone. I know Trap House Boxing, we were both talking about that. I don't know how to apply the wrench, get people a wrench when I'm on my phone. I don't think it's even possible. I think I have to be on my computer to do that. All right, I'm trying to find the comments again. 5-4 Trail Swan says Jarrell Miller hits harder than Ortiz. You think so? I mean, obviously, neither me or you are in there getting punched in the face by him, right? But it seems as if Ortiz may have better one punch power just from fights that I've seen him laying people out on the canvas with that left hand. I don't know. I would say Ortiz, but I definitely think that Miller, once he starts to tire you out and get you hurt, he has a fucking high value, man. And whether he has that crazy one punch knockout power or not, for a 200 or however much Jarrell weighs, 300-pound dude, just to be putting hands on you in an aggressive way nonstop, shit gonna start to take its toll, especially if you can't get out the way or you're running out of real estate or he had you trapped on the ropes or he's cutting off the ring on you. I mean, I seen him sleep Donovan Dennis, brutal on Showbox. Okay, I see y'all going back and forth in here. Sean Ramshore was good. He says he should fight Char, then try to fight a serious contender. I think some of you guys are going back and forth. Now the fight I'm watching in the background, that's a fight. I'm watching Bo Holyfield 1. DOG215, what's good, man? Good to see you in the chat. Gaines PP says, Mr. Boxing today too. I bet you can knock out David Price if you were signed to fight him. Hey man, I can do a little something on the heavy bag, man. I can do a little something. Put it this way. I'm no professional fighter. You know, I'll spar some pros. I've dabbled around in gyms. You guys see me punch the heavy bag. I like to stay in shape, punching my bag. I'm no pro fighter. Uh, so I'm gonna just leave it like that. But had I taken a fight seriously, fighting seriously, and you know, Price was a good amateur now, man. He's a big dude with a big right hand. Um, just his chin, man. And I'm 6'5", 245 myself. Put it this way: if I got to load up and punch as hard as I could and cracked him on his chin, he didn't see it coming, I do think I can drop David Price. I know some of you are like, what? Get the fuck out of here. You couldn't beat David Price. Should I think not just me, I think if any grown man over 230, 40 pounds, 200 pounds loads up on David Price and catches him, he doesn't see it coming, he'll fall down. But I'm no pro boxer though. But just brute strength, power, force, punching somebody in the face, that's different. Brooklyn Child Boxing Talk says, I have a new video. I don't think Fury is a legit lineal champion. I'm looking Fury versus Wilder from a standpoint of these are the best heavyweights in the world. I'm gonna check that out, man. I'm gonna check out why you don't have them as lineal. I know some people don't look at it as lineal, for different reasons. So I'm curious to hear your reason. That's not the first time that I've heard that. So curious to hear your reasons. Free Kebab says no fights tonight. Yeah, there are. There's no like blockbusters or anything, but there's some fights tonight. Trevor Bryan versus BJ Flores. Robert Helenius is back in action, and then obviously the guys that are fighting on those cards. But no big blockbuster type of weekend. No. All right, see a lot of y'all going back and forth. Looking for comments, y'all. Looking for comments. Ray Sean Hudson was good. See you in the chat. Curtis Anderson, what's good, man? Always good to see you in the chat. I see Blood Boxing put up a new heavyweight series. I believe it's in the 80s, at the end of 81. We're going into 82. I got to check it out. I'm going to try to get back on there with Blood, man, probably for the next one. And see if I can be on that next series. Because I definitely enjoyed that one that I was on. Got it. I'm going to check that out today. Okay, Lawrence Williams says Kevin Price last fight was against Amir Mansour. Yeah, I knew he lost another fight. I just forgot who it was against, and I knew it was against somebody notable too. Yeah, it was against Amir Mansour. I'm sorry, y'all. Now, since the Bo Holyfield's over, now it's they're showing the Hagler Hearns fight on my TV. That was a crazy, crazy fight. Chris Horace says, Mr. Boxing, keep up the good work. Appreciate that, man. Will do. Arsenal Maniac says, what is your pick in the Joshua versus Povetkin fight? Points, KO, what? I'm going to go stoppage. I'm gonna go stoppage for Anthony Joshua. I think there'll be some shaky or just let me see. I think there'll be some moments in the fight where it's very tense. You may be sitting on the edge of your seat because we know Povetkin can bang. There may be a few close hooks that graze the chin here and there on Joshua. There may be a moment where he gets caught with because he's going to get hit with a left hook in an overhand right. It's going to happen. It's just how is he going to react? Is he going to have his high guard up? Is he going to be leaning back when it happens? Is he going to be right there on Povetkin when it happens? But it's going to happen, and it's just how is he going to react when it does happen? Um, and then once it does happen once or twice, what is he going to do to keep Povetkin off of him? I think eventually he will decide to go to his jab. I think on the inside he'll be strong enough to, if he can't outfight Povetkin on the inside, I do think Joshua's big enough, strong enough, and I think his corner will encourage him to wrap up Povetkin, especially put an arm around that left hook or his left arm so that left hook cannot get off on the inside. And I think he'll muscle him around a little bit. I seen him working out. Um, I actually posted the video on my YouTube page, but the drill they were doing was basically AJ with his high guard up, moving around, and then he had a guy like attacking his body and throwing hooks. So like hooks to the body, hooks upstairs. And the way AJ was defending it was with the high guard, stepped in real quick, grabbed him. So he may go to that and switch it up sometime. Have Povetkin off balance to where he may think you're going to step in and grab, but then you step in, throw an uppercut, mix it up with him, turn him. And he was turning the guy he was working with, one of his guys from his that be in his training camp. Where I forgot the guy's name. Somebody said his name, but I think he'll implement some of that. Now it's going to be different when you're actually in the ring, but the fact that he's trying to duplicate what possibly could happen in training lets me know that he will go to that high guard and wrap him up. But I got Wilder winning that fight. Chris Horwath, man, appreciate that. Super chat, $100. Appreciate that, man. Few more super chats that I'm missing too, because now it went from $4 to $131. I appreciate that, y'all. Let me try to get a shout out to the super chat here if I can find it. I'm kind of, hey man, when I get to, y'all know how I am, when I get to talking about these heavyweights and matchups, 30 comments to go by, man. So I'm trying to answer every one. See if I can find the other super chat. Damn, I can't find who. Man, let me see. Let me try to find it. Yeah, I can't find it. Whoever the other super chat was. Appreciate that, man. Shouts out to you. Maybe you can leave me a comment saying it was you, but I can't find it. Yo, and shouts out to Cali Meehan, man, because you guys remember Cali Meehan from the mid 2000s. He actually had a fight with Brewster that I thought he won. That fight was on Showtime back in the day. But sometimes here, man, people can come on and say, I'm Michael Jordan, or they can have anything for their username, but it's the actual real Cali Meehan. You know what I mean? So shouts out to him. I actually looked and did some research. It's really him. You know what I mean? So shouts out to Cali for enjoying my channel, enjoying my insight. Shouts out to every heavyweight boxer that has came to my page and gave me a shout out. Jarrell Miller, Germain Franklin, Junior Fa, Chris, or not Chris, but Eric Molina, Antonio Tarver has been by my page before. So shouts out to all the fighters, man. And I'm not the only YouTuber that has this happen to them, but it's good to hear from heavyweights that have fought in the past say that they appreciate my insight. You know what I mean? Um, and that's what I like about this YouTube thing, man, because the days of Burt Sugar and all those great writers from the past, guys who were very insightful and historians, those days are kind of gone, man. We're in a new era now where Joe Blow can sit behind his computer and break down a fight as best as or better than damn it people you see on TV. You know what I mean? So I definitely appreciate that. And I appreciate you fans too, man. Hardcore followers of the sport showing me support, man, over the years. Just going on damn near 10 years now. Well, and speaking of Cali Meehan, I want to see his son, man, get back in the mix. Willis Meehan. Kid seems like he has some heavy damn hands. I did a video on him before. Then he took some time off. He actually contacted me as well. But I want to see more of him, man. It's in the bloodline, obviously, and he has heavy hands. He has raw power. The fights that I've seen and me seeing him work out, if there's one thing that does stand out, it's his size and his power. Rayshawn Hudson says, "Who is your top 10 heavyweights right now?" um, right now, Wilder. You know what? I'm gonna come out with a with a video giving the top 10. But the usual suspects, the guys that will be in the top 10, Wilder, AJ, White, Miller, Brazil, uh, Parker still in there, Ortiz, Povetkin, the usual suspects, but it's just how would I Tyson Fury, but how would I rate them? I like to really sit down and give an accurate assessment. I just don't want to just throw them out there like that. But the usual suspects will be in there. They may be a surprise, probably at 10 or 9, but the guys that should be in there will be in there. Roughhouse Boxing TV says, "Mr. Box today was good. Salute to the whole LDBC. Peace to the chat." That's what's happening, man. What's up? Armand Wright says, "Salute to Mr. Box today too and the entire LDBC." That's what's up. Fight Fan 30 says, "Oh, he's okay. He's talking to somebody else." I always pronounce your name wrong, man. Roronia Zorro says, "Mr. Boxing, how tall are those Canadian heavyweights from your video?" Oh, the video I did yesterday. Mladen Milhas, he is 6'6". Simon Keene is listed at 6'5", 6'6", and Alexander Teslenko is listed at 6'4", 225 pounds. Dylan Carmen is listed at 6'5". He has an 80-inch reach. And Oscar Rivas, I spoke about him. He is listed, I think he's like at 6'1", 6'2", somewhere in there, maybe 6 feet. Let's see here. Let's see if any filled a few more questions. Ronio Zorro, another question. He says, "F.A. Jagba will be Wilder's toughest fight. Rest of these guys have no chance." I like a Jagba as a prospect, man. He has some heavy hands. He's actually going to be in the Twin Cities, or at least they have him listed on Box Records, or having a fight in Minnesota. But the Twin Cities area, Jamal James from the Twin Cities is actually headlining that card. So he will be having a fight soon. Trying to think of anything else out there that's worth talking about as far as heavyweights right now, man. I pretty much cover some of everything. A lot of these guys need some fights scheduled. Herkovic versus Cornish. I've talked about that fight already. So fight I'm looking forward to. Curious to see if Gary Cornish come out there and go for broke. Sexton fight, he didn't fight a bad fight. You know what I mean? Hergovic is training his ass off though, man. I remember doing a video about that kid. What was that? December of 2015. He was my favorite for then the upcoming Olympics for 2016. He was my favorite going into the Olympics. And I did a video. I think the first video I did of him was will he be the next great heavyweight? I did it years ago when he was still an amateur. I like Filip Hrgovic, man. That's the one. Well, I ain't gonna say just him, but he is one of the. And you guys probably hear me say it's about damn near every prospect, right? But he definitely is one of. If I had to put together my 5 that I'm really keeping an eye on, Filip Hrgovic would definitely be in there. Germain Franklin from the U.S. is another guy, man. I know there's a lot of guys out there. Trey Lippy Moore. I mean, I can go on and on with the prospects, right? But Germain Franklin's another one, man. Skilled, smaller type guy. Smaller meaning he's about 6'2", 6'1". You know what I'm saying? I think he's up to like 16-0 now, somewhere in there. Good patience, good reflexes, good body puncher, good combination puncher. He had a lot of success at the national level here as an amateur. Shouts out to him, man. Cali Meehan, what's good, man? I just was just talking about you, man. I was just saying that sometimes, people come in here and say they're anybody, but I actually did some research and it is the real Cali Meehan. So I appreciate that. When is your son going to be back in the ring, man? Oh, okay. Oh, let me read this. You said, God willing, my son will be back in the ring soon. Okay. That's what's up. Did you want him to be did he just try to follow your footsteps, or was it something that you pushed on him to be a professional fighter, or just pushed towards being a boxer? BG London says, Dave Allen said Helenius is fighting Gorman on Instagram. Well, hopefully, Helenius got to get past the guy he's fighting today. That fight's probably already came and went. I know earlier when I was looking at it, Helenius was saying, he was just taping his hands up or whatever, getting ready for his fight today. So, but if he did win that fight, because he had a split decision with the guy just recently, earlier this year. So if he gets past him, I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. Wouldn't mind it at all. Nick says Alexander Usyk versus Huey Fury. Man, style-wise, that is just tough to call. I wouldn't know who would take the lead in that fight. I think Usyk's mindset may be more aggressive, but then I really don't know. But I've seen Usyk come forward and make you miss. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him come forward and make guys miss coming forward. Huey just, to me, is strictly wanting to go on the back foot, unless he knows he can just go in there and walk you down and be, ultra aggressive. But style-wise, man, I would favor Usyk, though. I'll favor Usyk in that one. Fight Fan 30 says, what's your thoughts on Hasim Rahman Jr.? First thing I think about when I think of Rock Jr., man, is I know a lot of people think when they think of Rock's sons, they think of the shit that happened in the Mayweather gym, where they had those dudes like fighting to the end, 30-minute rounds and shit. But what I think of is the fight Rockman Jr. had. Before I get to, I think about him as a fighter, but the fight he had with, I forgot the gentleman's name, but the dude didn't come out the dressing room. Like literally, see Rockman's in the ring waiting for the guy, and the guy, for whatever reason, and now a lot of things happen sometimes, guy may be like, huh, what, how much I'm getting paid? I'm not getting the full, whatever. I'm not sure what it was about, but the dude did not get in the ring that night. That's the first thing I think about, man. It's kind of, jokingly, but it's in the blood. He has good fundamentals, and I just want to see him develop more. But I think Rock's youngest son is the one that they're saying that might really have a future. But as far as Rock Jr. though, like I said, just good fundamental skill set. Want to see him grow as a fighter. but there's not none that stands out like a crazy long reach or so he's not one of those type of guys. But shit, his father wasn't like that either. He had to work and grind his way up too in the pro ranks. It wasn't easy for him either, man. Roughhouse Boxing TV says, I think Wilder doesn't need AJ. He could fight Fury, then again in a rematch to KO Brazil and rematch Ortiz. AJ doesn't want with the top three heavyweights. He'll be stuck fighting White, Takum, Parker, and such. Well, I know Eddie Hearn is trying to make the damn Dillian White AJ rematch. I know that's on the queue for him. I know that the Hearn wants that. Hearn can do a lot with Dillian White right now. They can, try to keep chasing Wilder, which I don't think is a bad fight, man, to be honest with you. Him and White versus Wilder. It's just nothing that I want to see immediately. There's other fights out there I would rather see before that, AJ being one of them. But not a whole lot of fights, maybe just a couple fights, but it's not like Wilder White is like ninth on my list, you know what I mean? But it's just, I think there's a few fights I would like to see instead of that. But what I will say is White can fight Chiseur in a rematch. But I think that Hearn is pushing towards a Dillian White, Anthony Joshua rematch. To me, Wilder should have already, even if the fight does take place with Fury in November, December, I also thought Wilder could have just been back in the ring maybe like last month. This month, probably fighting today, you know what I mean? Because shit, Ortiz has been back since those fights in March. since those fights in March where we had Wilder, Ortiz, and then we had AJ and Parker. And then who the fuck did White fight? I believe White was on that card. But anyways, those guys are already back in the ring now, or have been back in the ring. Parker has already been back in the ring. AJ's about to get back in the ring shortly here. You know what I mean? Ortiz has already been back in the ring. And shouts out to Ortiz for being a gym rat, because a week after the first, or his, not, well, the only fight, but the fight with Wilder, I was going to say the first fight, but the fight with Wilder, he was back in the ring within a week. And he was able to maintain his 241 pounds. He came in to the, who the fuck did Ortiz just splatter? Razvan Kanjano. So for that Kanjano fight, he was 241. The Wilder fight, he was 241. He's been between like that 238, 242 range for years now. So it's good to see him to get back in the gym, because he said he was going to get back in the gym. Guys say that, and then 2-3 months later, they step in the ring for another fight, and they're 17 pounds overweight, saying I'm in the best shape of my life. You know what I mean? But he actually literally was back in the gym, and he was able to maintain. So shots out for him for doing that. Shouldn't really have to give shots out for fucking professional fighters being doing what they should be doing. I hate when dudes balloon up in weight, man. I just, to me, there's no excuse. Like, you're not Joe Blow that just works a 9 to 5 that just works out. You're getting paid hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars, man. You got to be ready. You never know when somebody's going to pull out of a fight. They may call you. The opportunity may be there. And if it is there, you want to be in shape. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. One of the reasons why I got the Shannon Briggs intro is I think it's entertaining. But to my videos, is the shit he's saying, the mindset of what he's saying is what I like about that intro. When he says, look at me. And I know he did that when he was chasing down Vladimir Klitschko. But the message of what Shannon was saying is, look at me. Meaning, look at me right now. And he took his shirt off. He was saying, right now, I'm already ready. I'm ready right now. If I'm at Walgreens, if I'm at fucking Cub Foods in the produce section, if it goes down right there, guess what? I'm ready to go. I don't need 3 weeks. And I know I'm being sarcastic with that, but just meaning he's ready to fight right now. He don't need 12 weeks. He's already ready. You should always stay in that type of shape, especially at heavyweight. Now, other weight classes I know is different. Guys are damn near draining themselves and damn near killing themselves to get down to welterweight when they're really a fucking middleweight or super middleweight. I know it's different, but at heavyweight, you shouldn't be no more than literally like 5 to 7 pounds off your weight that you really want to fight at. And that little 5 to 7, you should be able to shave that off, you know, a few days just hitting the bag, sweating. Should be no fucking excuse, man. Oh, I took time off. Okay, but you can't have a little stationary bike in your room. Even if you go on vacation, you can't just, I know you're spending time with your family, but you can't just take 30 minutes at 5 in the morning, go run the beach or something like that. Something, you don't have to kill yourself, but stay in some shape, man. Stop ballooning up in weight. This shit is just a disgrace to the sport, period. Read a few more comments, y'all, then I'm gonna call it a day. Probably won't upload a video. That's why I wanted to just do this one, kind of incorporate a lot of different topics about what's going on right now in the heavyweight division. So this video was kind of all over the place with different topics. Let me read a few more. Gaines PP says Cleveland Williams versus Lamont Brewster. Man, let me see here. Cleveland Williams was built like a damn tank. Really good shape. He'll bring the fight to you. Good combination puncher, very aggressive in fights. Lamont Brewster, that's a slugfest right there, man. I could see Lamont Brewster making it into a battle of attrition. Maybe he can try to imply some of what Sonny Liston did, pumping a hard jab and being ready for the attack from Cleveland Williams. Williams can throw really good in combinations. Man, that's a tough one to call right there. Put it this way, it ends by knockout. I would put money on that. Will Bag says Joyce called out Ortiz, but then he said he wouldn't be next. Yep, he did say that. He did say he'll fight him, but not next. You know, I'll fight you, just not next. I'll kick his ass. I'll fight him. Not now, though. You know, so that's the story of Luis Ortiz, man. Shout out to Jarrell Miller and Andrew Ruiz Jr. Guys, Andrew Ruiz Jr. and other guys came to my channel, gave me shots out, did an interview. I was able to interview him, even get a channel drop from him. But even with all that said, both of those guys turned down fights with Luis Ortiz. Now, both guys are saying it was too short of a notice. That was when he was trying to get the fight with Tony Thompson, where he ended up fighting Tony Thompson. But for that date that was in D.C. when he fought Tony Thompson in D.C., Washington, D.C., he was trying to get Miller. Miller turned down the fight, and Miller told me this, that it just wasn't enough time for him to get ready. He said it was only like 3 or 4 weeks training camp. And the same thing with Ruiz. He said he wanted more than a 4-week training camp. So take it for what you want. If you want to say, oh, hey, they're right, man, they should get 8-9 weeks, that's fine. Take it for what you want, man. The fight didn't happen. That's how I look at it. But hey, y'all, I appreciate y'all coming to the live stream. Appreciate World Breaker Fighting. What's good, man? You guys go subscribe to him. Aaron Morales was good. James Coleman was good. Let me see. Harry Smith, he says, what's good? Random topic, I know, but do you have an iconic punch thrown in division history? Mine is Frazier left hook on Ali, 15th round, fight of the century. Iconic punch for the division. Man, there's been so many, man. How about this, to end it like this? The most iconic punch that could have been land, but he just let him fall. I'm going to go with Ali versus George Foreman, when Foreman was kind of spiraling down on the canvas and Ali could have hit him again, but he kind of just, you know how like that little thing you do when like something's going to spill on you, kind of back a little bit, and he just let him fall. I'm going to end it on that. Y'all be good, man. I'm gone.